Thank you all. Thank you all for having me today, and appreciate everyone being here. So what I'll do is I'll tell you all a little bit about Allegacy and kind of where we've come from and where we are being, where we're planning on going, and a little bit about us and kind of what's happened over the course of the last few months as well. So Allegacy started back in the mid 60s, actually in the year 1967. It was from Reynolds Tobacco Company that there was a personnel manager that went to the executive management at Reynolds, and what he was seeing was a lot of the teammates with Reynolds were having trouble getting lending, and there's a lot of predatory lending back then, and basically the Reynolds put up $50,000 to start the credit union. Of course, at that time it was called Reynolds Carolina. That was in '67, and through the '70s and '80s, we grew. Basically, kind of like a savings and loan. We did loan savings accounts. In the '90s, we started doing checking accounts, and then by about the turn of the century, I will say 2000, we changed our name to Allegacy, and that was basically because we had grown so much and had so many more select employee groups that were now part of us that we wanted to change our name, and it was a legacy of all the groups we had there. So since then, by about 2010, we were starting to do more commercial banking. So we are a full service credit union, so to speak. We're not just consumer. We can handle large business, medium-sized business, pretty much a whole array of products as well. Right now, we have 18 branches, and we're getting ready to open one in Yadkinville next month, actually. Since March, if you would have told me, what was going to happen with pandemic, of course, none of us could have fathomed what has happened. But tremendous business we're seeing right now. Loan volume is about doubled from the credit union side. Folks are refinancing homes, buying vehicles that have been purchased in the last 3 or 4 months. Folks, just all sorts of things. People are refinancing their, of course, we're at home these days, and we're seeing things we need to do to houses, and people are taking advantage of that time. So that's where we're kind of seeing a lot of growth right now. With that being said, we're kind of working around the clock, so to speak, trying to help members and get new business in as well. So, of course, back a couple months ago, it's still kind of ongoing. Business side was seeing a lot of growth from the PPP loans and then other small business opportunities as well. So we've kind of gelled together and done as much as we can to grow and make do through these times. Of course, in Mount Airy, we opened 2 years ago. Actually, it was January of 2018. And in fact, in the next 2 months, we're going to be doing some upfits to the Mount Airy office. We're actually going to be putting in a pod style system in there. So we right now have the ITM, but it's going to be soon going away. And we'll actually have someone that will come in and handle your transaction kind of more like a traditional style bank operates. So we're looking forward to that in Mount Airy as well as we're growing in the area also. Other than that, of course, right now what's kind of boosting volume is loan rates. For instance, I'll let you know auto loan rates. On a new vehicle, an auto loan rate is as low as 2.64. A used vehicle is as low as 2.8. I pulled a mortgage sheet from yesterday. In the market right now, a 15-year fixed mortgage is as low as 2.5. And a 30-year fix is as low as 3%. What we're kind of seeing in volume in the branches, we have a mortgage eliminator, and that loan rate right now is 3.04 for 15 years, where we pay most, if not all, closing costs. So that's been a large drive for us at Allegacy as well when it comes to loans.
What do you tell somebody that is the biggest difference between a traditional bank and a credit union?
Well, we're a member-based. Everyone who joins Allegacy, you will always have a savings account open. And then from there, we can open up any other account. What that is you have $5. That is your share. That's your ownership in the company, so to speak. So we do not pay, we don't have stockholders where we pay large dividends quarterly like a bank does. That is one of the large differences. Therefore, by doing so, that's how we can give more back to our members and our owners, and have lower rates on loans and have higher dividends on deposits.
Got it. Well, and people love options, especially business owners.
Indeed.
One of our members, Joe Zalzik, asked, can I open a small business checking account online for his business?
It can be done through, well, the best way really to do it is I could help with that there. We can set an appointment to come in. It can be done that way, but so many different questions that ask. I would prefer, we could set up an appointment and I'll be glad to discuss over the phone. In fact, most of the stuff I could get there, and then we could also transfer it and email it back and forth. There's a lot of different ways. We utilize DocuSign these days, and it's been phenomenal.
I'll call you check on a home refinance. I have 15 years left. Is it a good idea to refi since interest has been paid and working on principal? I need your advice, Hall.
Well, yeah, so definitely, depending on what that rate is, of course, I always feel like it depends on what the goal is there. If the goal is to get paid off quicker, through our mortgage eliminators, you have a 7-8 year term, you have a 9-10 year term, and then you have a 12 and a 15 year. So still, no matter what, if you can beat the rate, you're probably going to be putting more towards principal anyway, and your interest is going to be lower. So it's a win-win.
Another question from Sherry Gibson at Mount Airy Hospice. She writes, requirements. What are the requirements to open checking and savings, or can anybody come in and open an account?
Well, that's a great question. So Mountain Valley Hospice is actually one of our select employee groups in the area. Woo-hoo. And with that being said, it's email myself, call me, myself or one of my teammates can reach out. We can set the account up, get started with a savings account, and then, of course, from there, open whatever else is needed. And we'll be glad to help any way we can there.